moment we will conclude this evening's performance, but before we do that, I want to take a brief moment and offer my profound thanks to a number of people. It's always possible, if you have an infinite amount of money, to do anything you want. But Idyllwild is a testament to miracles done with finite money. And I want to tell you how proud I am to be associated with this fabulous organization. And if Bill Lowen is here, I would like him to stand up. He's the president of this place. Are you here, Bill? If he's not here, he's probably doing 35 other things, including raising money. I also want to thank the director of the summer music program, who's an old friend of mine and who puts up with my insanity and quirks and so on, and every year delivers a wonderful, wonderful environment in which I can do what I love to do, which is to work with children. I want to say thank you to Steve Frater. There's no way a program like this could function without the tremendous support and help of an administrative team. And I want to say a profound thank you, first of all, to my manager, who I've known now almost 10 years, and who I consider to be a dear and close friend, and someone who is an invaluable part of the life of the orchestra and this whole program. From Poland, Tomasz Porwal. His cohort in crime, who has been here every day dealing with all of the nonsense that is required to make the logistics of this work. Please say a great thank you to our direct manager, Scooter. One of the joys of being here is that I get to be the beneficiary of the work of a collection of artist-teachers who I respect on the highest possible level. And those people work assiduously to build the ingredients that I get to assemble here. I get to have all the fun and they do all the work. And I want to recognize them. Could I have all of my fabulous coaches please stand now? Thank you to all of you. I know there are many parents and family and friends of the students on the stage tonight, and I know some of you have sacrificed to make it possible for your young people to be here, and I want to say a great and deep thank you to all of you. And would you keep voting everywhere you can for the flourishing and sustenance of live music. You're hearing it, live music. Finally, I want to say perhaps the greatest thanks to the people who are sitting behind me, because if you haven't noticed, this makes no sound. Most of the time. There's a story, by the way, of a very famous French composer, Jean-Baptiste Lully, who accidentally, while conducting with a huge staff in the pit of the French opera, stabbed himself in the foot. He cried, got gangrene, and he died. Right? So sometimes the stick makes sound, right? But these people here have been incredibly caring and supportive, on time, ready, eager, and my way of rehearsing is somewhat anal retentive and picky, and they have been so committed to this project. And you need to know we have ages 14 to like 27, 25 different countries. This is a kind of mini UN with instruments, and I want to say to all of these fabulous people, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for being part of my life. Maurice Ravel was a brilliant and incredibly original composer who was out of sorts with the French critics much of his early life. He was a small man, an incredibly natty dresser, and he was so slight that when he applied for the military in World War I, he was rejected because he was too small. His scores are the epitome of detail and fine lace work. And in fact, a friend of mine, whose name you may know, John Adams, who's one of America's great composers, is an old friend. And John said to me once when he was young and thinking about being a composer, one of the reasons he was is he heard Ravel's music and was so colorful and delicious that he thought, I gotta do this. And then he got a score. He got the notes of one of Ravel's pieces. And it was so pregnant with detail and care and all kinds of details that he basically was not sure he could ever be a composer. So Ravel was as natty in his orchestration as he was in his attire. This piece is a ballet. There are two suites. We're going to play the second suite. Here's the setting for this fantasy. This is the fantasy of Daphnis and Chloe, which is an updated version of the fantasy of Pan and Syrinx, the great myth. Daphnis and Chloe are destined to get together and be young lovers. But at this point, Daphnis at the beginning of the piece is prostrate on the stage, asleep. He's stunned because even though he's seen Chloe, pirates, what can I tell you, there's always pirates, pirates came and took Chloe away. So he's completely beside himself. He doesn't know where his love is. And so that's the beginning of this. As the story unfolds, if you think about it, the beginning is a quiet river with mist a foot off the ground, and this whole part of the ballet opens this way. Eventually, Daphnis and Chloe do get together, and you'll hear a beautiful alto flute solo in the middle of this, which is the embrace of Daphnis and Chloe. Near the end of this, there's a huge dance where everybody just basically rocks and rolls because everything ends happily. So unlike Don Juan, I'm sure you guessed Don Juan, this ends with the two getting together. This is our rendering of Ravel's masterpiece, the second suite from Daphnis and Chloe. And I would recommend something to you that I did last week, and I think it's a good idea. You might start with your eyes closed and try to picture the image on the stage of this fantastic ballet. Thank you.